Hey Bible lovers, got another Bible review comparison video for you guys today. These two Bibles are really exceptional Bibles. These are newer acquisitions I've just gotten through trades, and as you can see from the boxes, one is an Allan, one's a Schuyler, and these two are head-to-head competitors for the same target consumer. So if you are a fan of the Thinline NASB Bibles that are from the premium Bible producers Schuyler and Allan, then you are very familiar with these two Bibles. And I just kind of want to do a side-by-side comparison of these two editions. So at least the silver line on bottom and the Thintel or the Thinline Quentel on top. So first, the Quentel is just looking at them. What you notice most, the Quentel has the raised ribs and the gold stamping. The silver line has the tooled ribs and the silver stamping. I still can't decide which I like best. I love the silver stamping, but I also love raised ribs. So I'm really undecided at this point. I mean, it's really a toss-up right now for me. As far as the leather, this leather used by Youngblood. Now, Youngblood printed and bound both of these Bibles for Schuyler and for Allan. The goat skin used for the Thintel is more similar to a Highland goat skin than the silver line, which the silver line is what they call a natural grain goat skin. Still very attractive. If you have any of the Crossway heirloom editions that are also produced, printed and bound in the Netherlands by Youngblood, this would be a very similar, very similar goat skin cover. At least goat skin. Now the Crossway editions will not have as much yap, and they will not have quite the corner work. They also have a stitched perimeter, which that's why they wouldn't have the corner work as the silver line would. But anyway, as far as the goat skin, if you are familiar with the Crossway heirloom editions, then that's a very similar goat skin. If you like the Highland goat skin, or even if you're a rebind fan, this is more similar to a Sakota goat skin, with the deeper grains, the longer runs between the grain patterns. It's more attractive to me. This is. Now here are a couple other cover comparisons, at least. The Allan has more yap, okay, than the Schuyler, but the Schuyler has a perimeter stitching around the perimeter. The Allan also has a double tooled line around the perimeter. The Schuyler does not. So it's a matter of preference. Would you prefer the smaller yap with the stitched perimeter? Not quite as nice and neat of corners, or would you prefer the larger yap with the tooled lines around the perimeter with much nicer, neater corners? So I'll give my opinion at the end. So just stay tuned. All right, so the cover. Beyond that, the liner seems to be a very similar calfskin leather. Schuyler likes to have goatskin leather cover imprinted, where Allan just says goatskin on the inside. And but they're very similar liner used. Of course, the silver line has a silver gilt line, silver imprinting, silver gilded edges. Where the Thintel has the gold imprinting, gold gilt line, gold edges. So that's just a matter of preference. Now the Schuyler has a red under gold. The Silverline, the Allan Silverline is like a baby blue under silver. It's just really aesthetically, if I had to grab one, it would probably be the Thintel, mainly because I love the raised ribs and the texture of the goat skin. But the Silverline is just still so immaculately beautiful. I'm not going to discredit it. It's still just amazing. I love the yap on the yap is awesome on the Silverline. So I love this Bible too. So when I open it up, we just go to the middle of the text and just kind of do as best we can an apples to apples comparison. The Schuyler has fewer words per line, which I'm not really a huge fan of that. It's easily read because it's such a large print. It's an 11 font. You have the different colored, the color contrast between the chapter numbers. You also have the book and chapter numbers at the top, the color contrast with the chapter and verse numbers at the bottom with the references. It has a really beautiful layout. I love it. This is also a 28 GSM paper as opposed to this being a 36 GSM paper. And you can see that the ghosting, you have a little more ghosting in the Thintel, but you have a larger print. The Silverline has a thicker paper, and it's going to have a little less ghosting, but it's a 10 font instead of an 11. Now, personally, I prefer the center column references. I think they're easier to use, but for readability and ease of reading, having the references at the bottom is definitely probably preferred. So it's just really a preference thing. There are folks. These are probably the two finest NASB Bibles made today, and so it's really a preference thing. And the reason I'm doing this comparison is not to declare a winner, but to just show you the differences between the two. So the 36 GSM paper in the Allan is great, but where it does have ghosting, this block is not line matched, where the Schuyler is line matched. So where there is a little bit of ghosting, it's not quite as predominant as if it were not line matched. And let me get to a section where there's not as much blank area. So we'll go to the Gospel of Mark in both editions. So we're in Mark 10 here, and I'll just get somewhere close. So here's Mark 12. Okay, so if you're looking side by side, these editions, you can tell obviously that the Thintel has a larger print, maybe a little easier to read in long chunks, but the references in the Silverline are a little more easily accessed. So anyway, they both have 3 Beresford ribbons. The Thintel has at least the black Thintel has navy blue ribbons. The Silverline has silver ribbons. So it's just really you kind of pick what you like best, and really it's a toss up. It's really a toss up. Now also in the back, you do not have a concordance in the Thintel, mainly to reduce the thickness of the edition. It's also about 1.5 inches thick, so they're about the same in size. The Silverline's 1.5 inches thick, the Thintel's 1.5 inches thick. So let's get to well, after Revelation, you have lined paper. I'll just could tell you. but I'd like to try to show you if I can. So there's Revelation 22, and there's your lined paper. Okay, so you have lined paper, and then you come to your maps section. And this is a huge pro for Schuyler. They have, in my opinion, much better maps. Really great maps, and a lot of maps. You also have an index to the maps in the back, along with cardstock in the back for notes. So you have lined paper, no concordance in the Thintel, but in the reader, the Silverline, you have a concordance in the back, and it's not a tiny concordance either. It's a pretty good size concordance. So there's the end of Revelation, and you start your concordance, and it's a good sized chunk of the block. It's probably a few hundred pages. So then you get to your maps. Now the Allan Bibles don't have as many maps, and they're not quite as good in my opinion. Still good maps, but only about 8 maps. But you have way more lined paper, okay, in the Allan Bible than you do in the Schuyler. So why does this even matter? Well, if you take a lot of notes, or maybe you write your sermons in the lined pages, then that's going to be a big contributing factor to which Bible is going to be able to serve you best. If you do a lot more reading and the larger text size, then that's going to be a big factor in which Bible is going to serve you best. So the fact that the reader has a concordance and the fact that the Thintel does not, that might play a role. More maps in the Thintel than there are in the Allan, that might play a role. There are just so many differences between these two, but I would venture to say that these two are, in my honest opinion, two of the finest NASB Bibles produced today. In my opinion, I really think that they are these two are the cream of the crop of the New American Standard Bible, and it's just, I just don't think it gets much better with the Bibles produced today. So anyway, I know that's running a little long, but I just really wanted to show as many of the differences as I could between these two editions. I know that there are a lot of people who, they've been saving up their money. They're wanting to buy a premium Bible. They're New American Standard Bible fans. They use it, preach from it, read from it, whatever. So which one do I get? This is the purpose for these comparison reviews, so that you can see side by side the difference between the text size, the difference between the paper, the difference between the ghosting, the difference between some of the features, some of the covers, just some of what might be important to you. So that's why this video was even produced. So anyway, hopefully that was helpful for you guys, and maybe I answered the questions you might have had why you decided to watch this video in the first place. So if you have any additional questions regarding these editions, or even any other questions, just leave them in the comment section. And also, don't forget to subscribe, check out my giveaways, and be sure to catch the notifications whenever I post new videos of Bible reviews, rebind reviews, tutorials, and all sorts of stuff. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and God bless.